What is happening today, YouTube? Welcome back, friends. Vapors. Vaporology is now in session. So, keep it down in the back, and we'll get you through this as quick as we can. The whole purpose of this channel is to get you in and out as quick as possible. I don't want to sit there and talk for 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So I will post up all the specs on your screen right now. You know what? Let's just do the on-screen stuff right now. Okay, so just to bring up the info here really quickly for you. The newest addition to the Herakles family, the Sense Herakles RTA atomizer, combines the convenience of a tank and the cloud production of a dripper. It really does. So you guys can read all this stuff yourself if you really want to go through it. 6 mil tank. It might hold a little bit more than that, but that's on par with what I've found. 24.7 mils in diameter, adjustable airflow. It does have peak insulators. I did see that somewhere else. You got Pyrex, Delrin wide bore. What does that other one say here? 10 millimeter threaded wide bore drip tip, 7 mil by 2 mil air slots. Interior airflow is 4 mil by 3 mil each. You get 4 of those. There are 2.5 mil post holes, which was said somewhere else. Anyway, I actually tried to go to the Sense Herakles website, and they don't have the RTA up on their website, so kind of disappointing. But that is that. Okay, so now that we got all that stuff out of the way, let's have a look at the packaging. So I like the way this was presented. It's a cool little box, actually. Smaller than most. Nicely protected. It is sealed on the sides. So the back. Herakles. It is Herakles, not Hercules. Herakles is one of flagship products by Sense. Herakles Plus One, top 1 sub-ohm tank among many famous reviewers. What's next? Herakles RTA for innovation with 4 wide airflow holes on the big build deck. Amazing vaping experience will be followed. Easy to build up, wicks well, flavors awesome. No hot even with high wattage, etc. Herakles RTA is showing up. Like, you think they would get somebody to proofread this shit that speaks English. Like, come on, guys. Like, this is like... Anyway, so contents of the kit. Complete Herakles RTA. So we can get this to focus. Replacement Pyrex glass, so it is Pyrex. 510 drip tip, 2 bunches of O-rings, and the spare parts. So, in the box you get the tank. I've already got it on my mod here. And then you look at it and you're like, and then this folds up. And I really like the packaging here. So we can take a pause and read all that crap if you're interested. It does hold 6 mils. They do have a rose gold version as well. And I like the way they did the glass. So you pop this little tube thing out. The glass kind of fits in this little spot so it doesn't move. It's a perfect size to this chamber. Onto this little goodie bag. And I like the way they did this. Rubber ends, kind of like the Raphael tubes. And now let's see if we can get the stuff out. So, here's your goodie bag. This is for your 510 drip tip adapter if you want to run a 510 instead of the big wide open one. I'll show you all that in a second. You get a spare copper center pin, Allen key, flathead screwdriver, and some post screws. So all the spares that you would need, and then they actually give you 2 complete sets of O-rings for the tank. So good set of spares. Always good to see because these tanks, you always need them. I always lose O-rings. Yeah. So I haven't even put on this 510 drip tip adapter. I absolutely love this tank the way it is now. This one here, as of right now, this tank has taken my favorite tank of the year award. Or as of right now, I got my Boreas, which will be here right away, and I'm pretty sure those two will compete. But oh my wow, this is an amazing tank. So once around, look at the drip tip. By the way, whatever this is made from, it's completely heat resistant, but it's lip crud repellent. Like I swear, I vaped on it 2 days. Usually you're cleaning your drip tips at least a couple times a day, right? I know me. I do it many times a day. This one has not been cleaned. I did not even clean it before the video, and I've been vaping on it straight. So that goes to show. Awesome. So this is a 25 mil tank, top fill. I love the top fill. So first off, just grab it and boom. Simple as that. Big open juice flow slots. And the drip tip, let me show you this. This just makes this tank. It really does. This is one of my favorite features. Look at that, it's threaded. I don't know exactly how this is made, but whatever it's made from, it's awesome. So this is where that 510 adapter would thread down, and then you would drop your 510 drip tip in if you wanted to. So I'll just blow a couple quick clouds, and I'm going to disassemble this, and we'll show you all the detail. So I have to say, like this thing has literally no resistance on the airflow department. Like this is definitely comp worthy. Like you can blow some freaking clouds. So I don't even have. I got a dual tank tracks. They call them aliens, but they're not aliens. They're tank track, or I'll show you the coils actually. So it was my last set of these coils. Come on, focus. There you go. So I will link you to all this stuff if you wanted the exact build I got in here. Just check the description, and I'll throw all that stuff in there. So it's a 0.2 ohm build, a 0.45 ohm coils, but it metered out to 0.19 after all the leads are clipped and tight. So 47 watts. Got a little bit of ramp up. It'll take a lot more than that. You know, let's crank it up a little bit more. Put it up to 55. And like I'm not even trying. Like I got some like 5 mil Nick juice in here, 5 milligrams, so it's pretty strong. I'm not gonna take huge hits off it. But man, the airflow, like I almost close it off, like to around there, the way I'm vaping most of the time, just because I find the flavor's a little bit better. But holy wow, this is literally almost an RDA for airflow. And the wicking, if you get the wicking down on this thing, it took me 2 builds to really dial it in. But we'll get all into that right now. So before I take it all apart and clean it up and everything, I just want to show you do have access to the build deck when it's full. You just flip it over. It's got that knurled section there. You just grab it there, and it'll thread out. Boom. So that's the build deck. And I've had no issues with leaking or nothing. This thing just wicks awesome. Like when you get the wicking dialed in, like I got it here, like you need it nice and fluffy and loose. You do not want to overpack your wicking material. But man, it performs. Like it really does. I haven't even really put any giant big builds in there, but I've had no problems with the wicking. It keeps up. And that's, just don't pack it. I don't, like you put the ring on, whatever. And another thing I find is when you put your cotton in, you know what, I'll go through and redo the cotton here in a second just to show you. But you cut it, like when you get it all kind of tucked in, you want to trim your cotton up just to trim all the edges so that it just wicks really good. And I found ever since I've been cutting it along the edges just to kind of get all the edges exposed, I've had no issues with wicking on any of my tanks. So that's a nice little trick. You know what, I'm not going to re-wick this. It's super simple, guys. Just make sure you're not packing it tight, nice and loose. And yeah, there's really not much to this one. I gotta re-wick it. Okay, so I'm just gonna adjust the camera just a little bit, sorry. Okay, so this is all of the pieces broken down. Now one thing, here's the build deck, sorry I forgot about that. The one thing that really will kind of blow you away a little bit with this guy is the build deck. Look at this, I got this removed from the deck. So this is, in my opinion, a really cool idea, the way they've done this. So you can completely disassemble it, and this leaves options available in the future for them to put adapters in their different build decks, whatever. But that's pretty sweet. You can just take the whole thing apart for cleaning like that. So you just thread it in like that, like I did, tighten it up, put your 510 back in. That insulator will pop out as well, but they don't give you a spare. And that just goes up from the bottom. They give you that screwdriver, which I already had over here. And I'll snug it up and show you. So that's snug. So I don't know, it's iffy. If you're hybriding it, it's close, but you can back it off. It is adjustable, and it's not going to push anything up because this is actually cinched into the build deck. Okay, so let's go through part by part by part. So, drip tip. Nice. Whatever it's made from, it's a cool material. Top cap. Sorry, the color's going all weird here. I don't understand what's happening. It's with my camera. I'll make sure to adjust that for the next video. It's that green in the background. So this is your 510 adapter. Now it does raise it up. So now you got that little crown on the top, so to speak. So that would be the top. So still, it's a nice design. I really do like the way they've designed this RTA. One of the better ones I have ever used. This kicks the shit out of the VCMT in my opinion. Yeah, I got the Boreas and stuff on the way, so I'll let you know how that stacks up in the future. So I'm going to do a quick little build on this guy and wrap it up. So I'm not going to do all this stuff on camera. I feel you guys are fairly educated enough. You guys can pull some cotton in. I will show you the pertinent info though, on how I cut it. And you need to leave it, like, cut it basically there. And you don't want it packed underneath that ring. That's the biggest mistake I see most people make, is they just put too much cotton in there, and then your juice cannot wick properly because it's too tight. And then you guys go, why is it spitting and cracking and popping? And 90% of the time it's your wicking that's the problem. Okay, got the trusty coil bar build box out here. So this is kind of how I do it. Leave it a little long. Now I'll take the ring and get this on there and just kind of line it up. And this is kind of a, you know, it's one of those things you got to kind of fight with a little bit. Get all the cotton away from the threads and yada yada. So I won't do all that on camera, but essentially you're just threading this ring on. Okay, so this is kind of how I do it. I get the ring down, and you can put the ring down first. Like, you don't have to do it at the end like I did. It's easy enough to do it at the beginning and then tuck it all in. But you can see it's all kind of pulled up and frizzy. This is what I do. Like, I pack it into that hole, or into the juice channels there, and then I kind of, if it's tight or feels tight to me, I just pick just tiny little bits up until it gets all fluffy like that. And in this situation, less is more. You don't need a ton of wicking material. You got a tank full of juice. This isn't a dripper, right? So that's all I do is just kind of, this one here is fairly loose compared to the other one, so I left that one fairly full. But that's it. Now I just trim this up, and by doing this, you get all these edges, or all these ends, are ready to be, or for juice. They just wick way better. And make sure your cotton's nice and fluffy. You don't want it, like when you put it in the coil, I pull it back and forth a couple times and make sure it's nice and loose. You do not want it tight in that coil, or it will not allow proper wicking. So that's pretty good, I think. Nice and soft, nice and fluffy. It's not packed in those juice wells. So let's fill it up with some juice. We'll put it all back together, blow a couple clouds, and we'll wrap this video up. Okay, so I'm just going to saturate it. Some of the best e-juice on the planet. This is blue raspberry. This is Mod Sauce. Canadian friends, check us out, modsauce.ca. It's probably the best blue raspberry you'll ever taste. Okay. So just paint your wicks up. Okay, got all painted up. Another little trick that I do is I take my tweezers and I just stick them down like that, just kind of to make a little trench, if you will, in the cotton, just to allow it to come up. Like, you don't want it tight in those rings. So I just always do a little test fire, make sure it's proper before I put it all together and then have to take it all apart. And as with most RTAs, you want to make sure that your juice flow's closed as well as your airflow before you fill it up. Okay, so this just goes to show what a 510 drip tip will look like on this beast. It's not too bad. This is just one of these ceramic shorter style tips. So it does work like so. I personally prefer that wide bore. It is just awesome. I wish more tanks would come out with these. Okay, so let's throw it back on the mod. We'll blow a couple clouds and we will finish this video up. Okay, so here she is. Super easy to build on, I gotta say. This is my, at this moment, favorite RTA that I have ever used. It is just so nice to vape on, I can't even explain. If you haven't tried these 25 mil atomizers yet, or you have a rouleau, or even the cuboids, they fit fine on those as well. I'll just show you. This one here actually has a tiny little bit of overhang on the front edge, which is kind of annoying. But when you have your rubber case on, like I'm just taking mine off, just give me 1 sec to clean this up. Okay, so here it is on the cuboid. Totally on fine on the sides, right? But it's that front lip. Same as the VCMTs and those styles of tanks. With your case on, you don't even notice it. 56.9 watts. Not even close to what this build can handle. I gotta say, guys, this is like comp. You could enter a freaking cloud comp with one of these things. Like, it is ridiculous how awesome this tank is. So I'll quit gushing about this stupid thing. If you're interested in picking one up, check out the description. I post all the links and such there. Cheapest prices on the net. I've done all the homework for you. I picked this guy up from 3F Vape, and they had it to me in 8 days to Canada with e-packet. So their shipping is phenomenal. I thank you guys again for watching. Oh, one thing I should mention is this. I didn't see this until right now. Focus. Never use a short or flat 510 connection on any hybrid or hybrid style device. Interesting that they put that on there. So, this one, I would definitely consider this hybridable. But, you know, use your own discretion. When it comes to setting up your 510, yeah, you need to make sure that you got a nice 1/16 of an inch or so hanging down from the 510 connector. So thanks again for watching, guys. I'm working on a couple giveaways soon. And just so you know, like, I fund many of these reviews myself. I do get sent some products, but not nearly as many as I would like. I did purchase this myself. I purchased many of my mods myself. So anyways, guys, I appreciate the comments, the feedback, the support. Make it cloudy, my friend. Keep calm. Vape on.